So with the batteries, you're going to see battery kits out there, that are around $500. They're going to get you, 10, 15 more amp hours from your factory battery. We don't sell batteries, but we help our customers in any vehicle. We try, see what'll fit as a max application. So what you have here is two 60 amp batteries. So that's the equivalent of 3 factory batteries. But instead of upgrading and spending just shy of $500 for one battery that's got 10 or 15 amp hours more than your factory battery, for $400, I think about $440 for the pair, interstate batteries, AGM, great battery. For $440, you have 3 times the power of factory. All right, so here is the option to put in 2 60 amp hour batteries. This is the equivalent of 3 of the factory batteries, which are 40 amp hours. Amp hours are what you're after. A lot of people mistakenly go after cold cranking amps. We're not starting big V8s here. What you're after is storage capacity, and of course that's in the form of amp hours. So basically, to make this battery happen, should you want to, is trimming the back here to pull about 3/4 of an inch of slide back. That puts the battery basically directly in line of where the original door was. You then have to extend about a 1/2 inch out. You can't make out that there's been a move once you've put it in. To me, for gaining that capacity of basically whole batteries worth it. We just have these in parallel. A lot of times people isolate a battery, and the whole premise is they're going to start their car with it, but they want to go with a big stereo. In my opinion, that's not the ideal way to go, because ultimately at the end of the day, your stereo is just running off one battery, and your car's all that extra reserve power is just sitting in wait where it doesn't require much to start the car. I think the better option is to parallel your batteries, and then if you go with like the Kicker KMC4, any of the Kicker head units, it will warn you when you hit low voltage. So you could be listening to your stereo, and it basically, there's an audible notation that tells you, hey, come start the car. This basically, in effect, doubles your actual playtime instead of having that just sitting there on wait to start a car. You can still start your car, but you've got all that extra time to use your stereo by doing it that way. These are interstate 60 amp hour batteries. The other thing you had to do is trim the front of that lip tray here. You'll see this, of course, wrapped around before, so that's just a flush cut and then a trim cut to the back here. Battery slides back a little further. The front covers go on because you extend out and create new indexing. And there you go, the equivalent of 3 factory batteries in the form of 2. So you can see here with that notching, you're just barely back of where you were. I'm going to see if I can get this to grab. If not, of course, I'll just make new indexing notches, but real close to where you were. All right, so what you do is you just create, you're pushing these factory notches forward. That's what holds the door in. So about a 1/2 inch. That makes that door go back on. All right, so here you go. So basically this tray just comes forward about 1/2 inch. Again, if you didn't know, you wouldn't know that it was there. This upgrade's for the guy that really wants the max amount of battery storage possible. There's probably kits that'll be, of course, less amp hours that you don't have to mod, but again, the total amount of battery storage with this 2 battery setup is going to be 3 times the factory setup, and it's using every ounce of space there in the battery tray.